Wie had dat gedacht? Or who would have imagined this? That's the thought that crossed my mind as I prepared my speech. Reflecting on the journey we embarked on 8 years ago, when we initiated AID in 2015. When you consider what we've accomplished so far and what lies ahead, I would never have believed it at the time. For me, it started with the dream of creating a film about basic income in action. Maarten's dream was to do an evidence-based income or unconditional cash transfer pilot project. The dream became reality when we decided to join ADS, a pilot project and a feature documentary film taking place in Uganda, a country where I lost my heart and Maarten had professional experience. After extensive preparation, we literally did long breakfast meetings every week for a full year, a lot of research, and a tremendous voluntary effort. We successfully launched the conditional cash transfers in Buzibi in 2017, a village with 58 adults and 88 children. The film Crazy Money achieved success, both internationally and nationally. The film even made its way to national TV channels in Japan, Israel, and Uganda. It was selected at 12 film festivals, won one, and received 2 honorable mentions. The success in Buzibi quickly led to a second village in Uganda in 2019, as several more villages followed rapidly. Thanks to so many of you present here today. While I would like to mention some people I risk forgetting some. Also people who couldn't make it today because of various reasons. Our wave of change has become a serious force, as you can see on the slide behind me. Next week marks the launch of the 11th village. That's not yet part of the slide, but it should be on the cards that you have on the seats. The 11th village is our third one in Congo. This village, named Masimelo, is a home to 521 residents. That's like almost 4 times Buzibi. Maybe it's interesting to briefly summarize what we do. We provide unconditional cash transfers monthly for 2 years to entire villages or communities in Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. We hope to expand our project to other countries in the near future. In Uganda, each adult receives €16 per month, and each child receives €8 per month through the mobile money account of the mother or the female caretaker. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, each adult receives $20 per month, and each child receives $10 per month through the same money account of the mother or the female caretaker. Every young person who turns 18 and during the 2-year project receives their own basic income from their birthday onwards. We ensure that no one within the community is left behind, and everyone is free to decline if they want to. We drew inspiration from various sources. I wanted to highlight the scarcity theory of Moulaina Taner Shafir, why having too little means so much. Or in other words, why poverty is a money problem and not a character problem. Various basic income studies throughout history, with special mention for Sarah Davala and Guy Standing's basic income project in India. We adapted their calculation method for the monthly amounts to the Ugandan context. And also the Nobel laureate Kennedy Defoe for economics underscored the importance of scientifically measuring the effects and long-term impacts of projects in national and international solidarity contexts. Now, 6 years after the launch of our first village, we felt the time was right to organize a significant event to bring together different aspects and to showcase our evidence-based approach to our independent research partners, the University of Antwerp and EPs. Thanks to our partners and donors, we can do so much. But we aim for more. We also want to create systemic change through our unconditional cash transfers. In other words, how can we ensure create possibilities for various value chain actors to contribute to a UCT system with the ambition to narrow or eliminate the living income gap for farmers and miners? From a human perspective, how can we protect the most vulnerable people in the value chain? The farmers and miners that create or delve the resources we use on a daily basis. Thanks to Umicore, Proximus, Fairphone, and IGIS, we already execute this in the tin artisanal mining context in Maniema province in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Thanks to the Gilet Foundation, we could already implement it in the context of coffee, currently leading to new collaborations within the coffee sector. More details will follow about this in the panel discussions. The longer I'm involved in this, the more I realize that UCTs are a kind of starting point. The creation of mental space and freedom of choice means really a lot. This thought always throws me back to the launching day of our first village in Bozibi, when they really realized that there are no strings attached or interest to be paid. You feel a wave of joy because they feel they can decide for themselves. That is how we can also create 1 + 1 = 3 mechanisms in the future, I think. For example, via trainings or workshops. Because I honestly don't believe a training will do a lot for someone who is in survival mode. There is simply no mental room. Or for example, by experimenting with the length to optimize the sweet spot. We now do it for 2 years, mainly because of 2 reasons. To be sure to have clear effects, and because of village dynamics that are quite volatile. But mainly another length is better from an efficiency or an effectiveness point of view. Or we can make it work more targeted in case there is a good reason for it. All this is, of course, provided that added intervention is also evidence-based and cost-effective. What we do is not a silver bullet, but it does ensure that an entire community increases its income for at least 2 years, and has freedom of choice. And that is already a success. We would also like to announce that if everything goes well, we will also start next year in Ivory Coast in the cocoa context. And besides that, we will also explore how to do base depot or unconditional cash projects within our Belgian Western context. I'd like to conclude with 3 statements that are very important to me. Do we want to live in a world where meeting your basic needs requires labor, unless you have a good inheritance or you win the lottery? I think UCT or basic income concerns us all for an autonomous, free life with confidence and dignity. My second statement is, poverty is a money problem, not a character problem. Unfortunately, the opposite is often applied. And happiness, not in the American dream way, or in other better words, life satisfaction and self-esteem, are in my opinion the starting point to have the chance to flourish. And lastly, I want to dedicate this event to Geert Havinger, who recently died. He was one of our ambassadors and an important donor. He also became a personal friend and influenced. But enough for now for me. Don't hesitate to ask me questions during the breaks or the networking. I now hand it over to Bart and the experts.